There we are, live on YouTube. Dove and Karen, this mic is all yours.
Okay, thank you all for being here, and thank you, Zoma. That was a wonderful sharing. I don't think there's any accidents. We all know everything happens perfectly. It does. Script is already written, and there's no accident that you were reading from lesson 189. I feel the love. I feel the love. And guess what? Today we have the shortened version of I feel the love. So we're now into lesson of the 20 lessons that are any one of these 20 lessons is the whole course. We're on lesson 209. And that is the review of lesson 200. No, excuse me, that's a review of lesson 189, which you were going through. And for many people, certainly myself, I know Ken Wapnick is one. Lesson 189, I feel the love of God within me now, changed my entire life. Because until then, I thought the Course of Miracles was a book. And I thought, well, there's a lot of books, and I'll get to all of them, sooner or later. Right now, I'm doing the Course of Miracles. I'm just the book. And then I got to lesson 189, paragraph 7. And this is what it said. Simply do this. Be still. Don't take with you one thought you ever had of what you are or what God is. Nothing you ever thought was true or real or good or right. Nothing you were ever ashamed of. Forget this world. Forget this course. I said, wait a minute. I understand forget this world. What do you mean forget this course? I said, wait a minute. This is not just another book. This is not written by somebody who writes books, because no self-respecting ego would ever, ever, ever tell you to forget 1,300 pages that it just wrote and said, let it all go. None of it means anything. Lesson 1. Okay, thank you all for being here for another session. We're into our 9th week of any one of these lessons is the entire course. And today happens to be one that we seem to be talking about all day since the 8:30 class that we did a few hours ago. Sharon and I started it, and it was really all about seeing the wholeness or the infinity or the totality. And I did put in the chat a little while ago this wonderful line from chapter 7, section 7. It's called the totality of the kingdom. And one of the last sentences in that section says, do you want to really understand totally? He knows that we really want to understand this stuff. He said, do you really want to understand totally? You got to understand totality. And when he says that, he knows that the ego has no way of ever, ever, ever understanding. So it only knows about its little acre, God's little acre. I got my territory, you got yours over there. And maybe I can take some of yours, put it over here, and so I'll have some of yours, keep you from having some of mine. Totality? What the hell is totality? Well, let's take a look at today's lesson. And first, I'm going to do a morning prayer, usually Karen. And Karen did say that she's with her mother today. a whole day. Her mother needs some medical attention, so she's with her. Let's take a look at the prayer that I've selected, and it comes from lesson 361 to 365, which is called the final lesson. And it's going to be one of the 22 lessons that is the whole course. This holy instant I give to you. Be you in charge, for I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace. If I need a word to help me, he will give it to me. If I need a thought, that will he also give. And if I need but stillness and a tranquil, open mind, these are the gifts I would receive of him. He's in charge by my request, and he will hear and answer me because he speaks for God my Father and his Holy Son. So the Holy Spirit, as Sharon said earlier from lesson 155, let me step back and let him lead the way, because I certainly don't know the way, but I'm happy to follow. But what am I leading? What am I following? Is it something in front of me, really? Or is it opening my mind to infinity, oneness, sameness? Yeah, I have no idea what infinity is. The love that created me is infinity. It's infinite. It's endless. It's changeless. It's all. It's allness, oneness, sameness, and extended the oneness, wholeness, sameness. And we are as love created us, exactly as Zulma was saying. Okay, so we're into the 20 lessons that are the 20 extended lessons from the original lessons, have 10, 12 paragraphs each. And he says any one of these lessons is a whole course. And we notice more and more that he starts every lesson with, I'm not a body, I'm free, for I am still as God created me. That's how he begins it, and that's how he ends it. And I have a tendency to discard that because I've seen it so many times, and I focus on the italics. The italics must be more important than that. No, every word in these very short lessons is the whole course. Every one of these words. I spent some time this morning talking about an article that was written by Lisa Natoli. Some of you may have seen it. It was on Facebook today. And she makes uh, a story out of something that changed her whole life by noticing that when she read the idea, I am not a body, I am free from still as God created me, she always kind of came from, well, but okay, I am not this body. I'm not this body. And that's where she started. And I noticed that's where I start too. I start the same place. She said, well, no. Because of, I think the person, she read a book by Gene Klein, who was a student of Ramana Maharshi and Veda Vedanta. And she got more out of that than anything she ever got from the Course in Miracles, because she had always thought, well, I'm not this body. And in this book by Gene Klein, she hears, well, What I am is the awareness that observes the body, that observes the body. Last week, I remember saying, you know, this whole idea of I'm not a body, I'm free, I'm still as God created me. It's not a matter of reading the words and then figuring, well, I'm going to follow these words. No, it's we have to own it. We have to own, like, it's the only truth there is. That means that I become awareness, and that's exactly what Jesus says in the Course in Miracles about heaven. Heaven is simply an awareness of perfect oneness. If I'm the awareness of perfect oneness, what is a body? It's something to observe, to observe. She says, in those observations, I observed this and I observed that, and after observing them, they were gone. They were gone by simply observing them, having no identification at all with the body. And as Zuma was teaching in his past hour, if I identify with anything in this world, whether it's a judgment of somebody else, they're not good enough, or I don't like octopus, or whatever it is, that's not an awareness anymore. I am the body. You can see how easily we slip right back into the body again. And that's the ego's whole idea. Listen to my thoughts, and you too will be better than others. You'll be different, more, better. Yeah. That's the promise of the ego. And none of it means anything because there's nothing more, better, and different than infinity, the infinite, the allness, all together or not at all. Those are the words in chapter 25. It's called the justice of God, all together or not at all. Okay. Are there any thoughts on anything that was said here at all? Anyone have any thoughts? Any questions? Okay, we're going to be going into the meditation on today's lesson 209. And we're going to take about 2 or 3 minutes to do that. And then after that, following, as most of you know, we ask anyone who wants to share what that meditation is. And remember, he's really saying any one of these lessons is the whole course. And we always like to make sure we understand that he's talking about the I'm not a body, I'm free at the top. I'm not a body, I'm free at the bottom. And in the middle, the words are, the love of God is what created me. The love of God is everything I am. The love of God proclaimed me as him. The love of God proclaimed me as his son. The love of God within me sets me free. So it's the love of God that created me. And it's the love of God within me that sets me free. So all there really is the love of God. The love of God created me, and the love of God within me sets me free. I am the love of God. Are there any thoughts on any of this? Anyone at all? Okay, take a few minutes.
I have a quick thought.
Go ahead, please. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, so I had a lot of thoughts as usual, about love and the nature of love. And I'm thinking here, so myself as the created, And there's only love. There's only one law. There's only one life. God is love. God created me and I don't want to say all of us. I don't want to talk beyond oneness. I don't know how to do that. So, but God created me as an extension of himself. And I'm thinking, so if I'm not seeing with love, I'm not extending the creation. I'm a cog in the wheel. Now I'm seeing in terms of the concepts I've made and habitually doing that with every encounter. And someone was saying this morning, I was listening on YouTube before I got up, uh, during your Thankful Thursday segment during that hour. That was your segment. That it's not even about the person we're seeing. We're bringing these concepts and associations from other people and from other things, and we're putting them on this person we never are seeing with the love of God or with Christ's vision that way. So if I'm not seeing in love, I'm in error. So thank you. I'm just with that today.
Okay. You're not thinking with love, according to the course, it doesn't mean anything. Lesson number one, nothing I see here means anything. And you think it means something, you're the one that gives it all the meaning it has. Only purpose is meaning. Only purpose is meaning. Nothing else has any meaning but purpose. What is our purpose but to remember the truth, to know the truth, to remember our true self? That's the only purpose, is to remember our true self. And obviously, if you're looking at something that is different, that's impossible to know your true self, because your true self is one, infinite, with all, always the same, all together or not at all. I listened to Ken Wapnick this morning, and we just happened to say, he was talking about love. And he says, either you love all Homo sapiens or you love none. You say, well, I love all Homo sapiens except the people in that country or in that city or in that town or in that house. You're fooling yourself. It's like dreaming, sleeping. And that's exactly what the Course says. We're sleeping, we're sleepwalking, believing that what we're doing is real, and nothing here is real. Nothing here is real. That's why he can say at the beginning of the Course in the introduction, I could sum up this entire Course for you in these 3 lines. What's real can't be threatened. What's unreal, it doesn't even exist. He's laughing. Herein lies the peace of God. That's why as you do this Course, you start to lighten up easily by watching your thoughts, at least for me, watching my thoughts and smiling at the thoughts that I used to believe, with a big LIE, in the sense I used to believe in these things. Well, yeah, I'm right about this, and those people should learn more. Really, there's no those. I'm always speaking about myself. It doesn't matter what it is I'm saying. I'm always speaking about myself. Okay. Any more thoughts, questions, anyone at all? If not, we'll take a few minutes here. And after a few minutes, I'm going to say, oh, well, welcome back. Let's start right now. Take a look at this entire lesson, including the top part, I'm not a body, the bottom part, I'm not a body, and the middle part in italics. See you in a few minutes. Welcome back. Welcome back. If you want to stay where you are, please do. If you want to come back into the room and share, please do. And I see Sally, who usually is always the first one with her hand up. Sally, I'll turn this mic on over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, all I could think of was the love of God is with me now. I am the love of God. And talk about my evolution. I used to think God was out there, and then, oh no, God's inside of me. And now it's, oh no, I'm God. And I have been spending a lot more time in the stillness, trying to be still, and I'm at I don't want to say a level of a point because that's but I'm just waiting to feel a connection with the Holy Spirit. And I spend a lot of my days at home with my husband, and I have a lot of time for contemplation. And a lot of my time I'm very peaceful, and I know that's when the Holy Spirit's with me, and I'm in my right mind. And I just thank God for the course, and to have this connection, because it's a beautiful place to be when I'm in that peaceful, loving state of mind, which is who I am.
That's true, Sally. Thank you so much. That is who you are. Whenever you speak, that is who you are. Yeah. And I really noticed that, it's not that I hear you saying, I am God. And I remember a time, it could have been 10, 15 years ago at ACIM Gather right here, not in the Zoom, but in the ACIM Gather room that's on Pal Talk, which is always connected to this, but many people are not aware of it. Regina Dawn Akers was here, and we were talking about, can I actually get on the microphone and say I am God? Both of us came to the room at a set time, and neither of us would actually say I am God. And it's so funny that in this lesson, he gives you what really is the truth. The love of God is what I am. The love of God. You don't have to use God's name. It's the love of God is what I am. The love of God created me. I am the love of God. And I think that anybody could say, I am the love of God. Very few people are willing to trespass into, I am God. And, so I just want to say thank you for reminding me of that whole episode so I could share it. Linda, Joy, and then Rafi. Thank you.
Good morning. What came up for me, I do feel the love of God within me now. And I want to thank Zoma for my favorite CSL prayer: one life, only one life, is my life, is your life, it's our life now, perfect, whole, complete, and eternal. And blessings to you all, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for that, Linda Joy. Thank you. That was beautiful, beautifully shared. All right, Rafi, and then Mickey. Thank you.
One of the realized masters, not remembering which one right at the moment, but he said, if you have problems with I am God, and that could also be an ego thing. Hey, I'm God. You can be careful about that. He said the way to circumvent that is just I am. That he did, and then I read another one, and it said the same thing. I was Robert Adams, Lester Levinson, and one of the others said, all you have to do is just reassert the fact that I am, and that's all it takes. And this way, you don't get falling into any subtle little ego traps, or you have to wonder: can I say that? Can I? All of that goes away. I am. Thank you.
I am. Thank you very much for that, Rafi. And now we have Mickey. Linda Joy, your hand is still up. Mickey, you're on.
I think it's really funny that we're all trying to figure out ways to get around saying I am God. that must say something about all of us. But I did figure out another way around it, which it extends a little bit from what Rafi said. What came to my mind is I am what God is, because that is the real God's honest truth. Because I was created in the likeness of God, because I was created by God as an extension of God, I can absolutely say without any hesitation at all, I am what God is.
Yeah.
So there you go. No shame, no guilt, free pass, free hall pass for everybody to say, I am what God is. Thanks.
Thank you for that, Mickey. I'm going to ask you, did anything come up for you in the meditation itself on the lesson 209?
That's what came up.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Which I thought was really funny because then Sally talked about it, and then Rafi talked
Okay.
about it, and
I
I
see.
talked about it.
Okay.
And that's what came up. I was like, oh, that's what I am. There we go. Thanks.
Okay. So that's what came up. And then everyone else said the same thing in a way. Well, that's beautiful. Thank you. Yes, Karen G. Your mic is off. You're on mute, Karen. Do you know how to unmute? No.
Maybe Lynn can send her an unmute little thing if you go to the three dots.
Who needs an unmute, Karen?
Karen G.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. All right. You're on now. Thank you, Flynn.
Okay, I'm on my phone, so I don't know how to work my phone very well. I just got out of I just came home from hospital, so I'm a little out of it still. Anyway, I haven't been around for a while, and I love this lesson. Zuma reached out to me and it reminded me that you guys were still here. And I tuned in. Anyway, the love of God is with me now. I really feel that strongly. The love of God is with me now. I had not been connected. I had gotten disconnected from A Course in Miracles, disconnected from God, knowing God was there, believing in God, but not really connected. I got disconnected somehow. Life caught up with me and ego caught up with me, and I got involved in lots of other extracurricular activities and forgot about God, forgot about my spiritual practice. And I realized it, and then I came to understand that I needed to reconnect, and I asked God to help me reconnect. And of course, I had to get hit by the 2x4. I was in my car and had an episode. I found out later, as vertigo, but it was so severe that I had to be brought into the emergency room and was in the hospital 4 days. And reconnected with God very, very powerfully, very strongly. Of course, I had to be humbled. Humility for me is, I guess, where I have to be in order for me to stay connected. As far as being God, I am not anywhere near that. I believe I am a child of God. God is the Father. I am the child. I am love of God is absolutely perfect. I love that, and I can identify with that. So I'm complete.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Yeah, the idea of child is okay. Somehow I get that he's saying I am as God is the same, the same. So love created me as itself. I am the love of God. Love doesn't have a father-son kind of thing. In one part in the Course of Miracles, it says, nowhere does it say the Father ends and the Son begins, which would be a father-son kind of thing. So he's talking about an infinity. In infinity, we are the infinity rather than thinking of ourselves as this finite thing, which would be closer to being a body, which is why we say that in these 20 lessons, the one thing that's repeated over and over, literally 40 times, is I am not a body. I am free. I am still. And I like to look at the word still having nothing to do with time. Still being the peace of God itself. I am still. I need do nothing to be the love of God. I am the love of God. Love, peace, stillness, they're all the same. Love, peace, stillness, they're all the same. There's no separation. Thank you for that, Karen. Mike, I see your hand is up. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, thanks. During the meditation, the I am free was coming to me really strong, and I started what came to me was that I'm spirit. I'm not a body. I'm spirit because God's spirit and oneness is spirit, and it might have been coming from what Zuma was saying in the last class. I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it came from, but that's what was coming to me that I'm spirit and everything is spirit. Everything is one. Everything is God. everything is love. I have a really hard time with the word love, so that's um so that's what was coming to me. I'm spirit. And so I don't need to have any thoughts about that, any thoughts beyond that, or any concepts beyond that. And it's just, I guess, amness, beingness, presence. And what came to me in the discussion that's followed afterwards is that I've been taught that I can anything I put after I am is just my ego, is just a thought. And so I can come down to just the I am, but then I can also take off the I. And because that's even like a thought that's there's I, there's you, there's God, there's He. So I can come down to just the verb am or the verb be, which is, I guess, spirit, isness, beingness. And everybody's been saying that your isness is your business. I love that. But the last thing I want to say about this is I found two places in the Course in Miracles, there may be more, where it's talking about me, where it says, I am, and it goes on to say something. And the am is in bold print. And to me, that says, yeah, am, that's it. Just take the word am, forget the rest of the course, forget everything else. Am, am. That's all I need to know. And so I'm going to be looking to see if I can find more places in the course where I see that am in bold print. Those two have just come to me in this year. I'm sure there's probably more. So that's what I wanted to share. That's what came to me in the meditation. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, Mike, that was very helpful and expressive. Certainly opens up windows and doors. And there's a lot of light there. Thank you thank you for extending the light. Rafi, your hand is up.
Yeah, you mentioned about what came to us during the meditation, and two things popped up. One was discover my divinity. That divinity is what I am. And the other one was, if I, hang on a second. If I realize that I'm nothing but being, and in that knowledge comes total awakening. Well, that shook me pretty hard. And so
Can I ask you? I missed what you said. That shook. What is it that shook you?
what I realized that if I realize that I am nothing but being,
Okay.
and in that knowledge comes total awakening, that rocked me. And so I just thought maybe I'd share that.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. Being is life. You know, if you're listening here for Zulma in the last hour, she was talking about instead of the love of God, she equates God with life. Uh, I am the life, the love of life. Being and love of life seems to be a perfect hand in glove. Love of life and being is to me one and the same. I'm a being, and we're all being the love of life. Thank you, Rafi. Zuma, your hand is up.
No separation. In the Course and in other places, it says God is all in all. God is all in all. No separation. So I have to be it, regardless of what name I call it, what words I call it, whether I, of course, I don't call myself the Father because that's the allness of it all. I can call myself the Son because I'm in that. It's written that we live in God, that we have our being in God. So it becomes, to me, God becomes more of a place. God is the place. Eddie Watkins Jr. in his song, I am the place where God shows up, but no separation. Um, and I was smiling when Mickey was saying, yeah, we're having a hard time on how to say I am God, to say I am what God is. Well, then it means that God is what I am. It's all, we're back to words again. And I think, at least for me, it comes down to, being, not wanting to say that I am that. Well, if the name of God is, if I'm calling on the name of God, I'm calling on my own. What is that saying? It's synonymous. I am it. I can't be anything but it because there's no separation. I am the kingdom where God resides. I am the Bible says the Bible says the kingdom of God is within you. The Course says the kingdom of God is you. The kingdom of God is me. There's no, and I can't, and that's the only thing that makes me comfortable about being who I am. That's what makes me understand my worth and yours. Let me be clear, because it's not just me. I'm not going into some place, because Rafi, you mentioned, the whole thing about the ego. No. It's I'm God and so are you. And it's because it's because of that spirit, that same, there's only the one spirit, as Mike was just saying. There's only the one spirit. It's being, the Course speaks on two levels all the time. It's either speaking at level, and you can tell which level it is based on how at least I'm speaking for myself, how I receive it. If it's if it's talking in a sense of separation, this and that, that's level 2 stuff. That's all level 2 stuff. The name of God is my name. Okay, that's the one. That's one. There is no separation. I am not a body, just like God is not a body. I am free, like God is free. I am still as the way I was created. Was created from the life, the love of God. I am that. No different. No separation. Making all things different, making all things the same. And that's what I have to just remember. So it's not just me. It's the ego goes out the window when I say it's me and it's you too. It's only when I say it's just me. Oh, I am God. Yeah. No, I have to remember that I am what you are, and you are what I am, and we are all it. I'm complete.
Okay. I really think there's no accident that your hour goes and comes before this hour, because they are like one and the same, and it's a perfect completion. As you say, I'm complete. Rafi, your hand is up. Go ahead.
I ask myself one question from time to time. Usually it comes up when I'm meditating, but it's very effective for me when I ask myself, how am I universal love? And just stop it there. I don't answer the question. How am I universal love? And there is no explanation for it. Mind can't deal with the subject matter whatsoever, and it intensifies the quiet. That's all I want to share. Thank you.
Okay, it's amazing you bring up that particular subject, because I was going to mention, I'm looking it up right now, but in my I'll try and share as I'm looking up. But the word co-creator is used many times in the Course in Miracles. So he's telling you, you are a co-creator with your creator. So what God creates is himself or herself
For itself.
itself to co-create. So we are all co-creators, but what are we creating? The ego says, well, I know what's good. my way of seeing is better. No, we all create sameness, oneness, equality, which is the love of life. The love of God is the love of life. Thank you for that, Zuma, the love of life. That kind of goes with what it says in the back of the teacher's manual. Who is Jesus but a man who saw the face of Christ on all that he met and remembered God? So it doesn't matter what you're looking at, it's what you're extending and seeing as yourself. And you're always speaking about yourself. You can't be speaking about anything other than yourself. There's only one self. If you think there's two selves, well, you know what that's about. And we don't have to go into that. That's pure sin. What do you mean by sin? It doesn't exist. How's that? If sin existed, there'd be guilt. The whole idea of this course is to accept the atonement for yourself. My sole responsibility is accepting what I think happened never happened. We are the love of life, the love of God, and we are co-creators with the love of God. Mike, did you have your hand up? No? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I don't know if anyone looked to see how many times co-creator was used, but I'm sure it's at least a dozen or so times. I think we're at that particular point. So I see you here in the room. I saw you at the very beginning. Do you want to share anything at all? Sora, are you here? Sora. I always think that Sora and Sharon would be the best of friends. I don't know, Sharon, do you know Sora? Yeah. You really are like, I use the word, you come from the same place. Sharon, are you here? I guess the few people whose names are here, they're not here. But that's okay. It's got to be okay, Dove.
They're not really here anyway, so
Oh,
you are
really?
you're just talking to yourself.
Oh, okay. I kind of thought that well, Sharon was here earlier. That's for sure. I guess she stepped away, and then Sora, she
I had
just
to adjust my screen. I'm enjoying the conversation,
okay.
just listening, being reinforced. I always love what Zolman says. Is she still here?
Yeah. So
Being inspired.
I think
And I realized I have a
yeah.
problem. I am God, no, not comfortable, but I am love is comfortable. And love created me like itself. So if I say God is love, by extension, I am love. And I find that much easier to go down than, and even the Course would say I'm an extension of God, an extension of God's love. I am the Son of God, which still brings up stuff too, because there. But that's not that bad. But I am God does not resonate as much as I am love. I'm an extension of love. I am radiant love. I can beam love. My goal is to be a loving being and to be that presence of love. My book that's coming out soon is about discovering love as a path to remembering who you are, or discover love as a path to remembering who you are. So my love I can handle, but I am God. I can't handle.
Okay.
That's it. I'm done for now.
Very good, Shara. Thank you for sharing.
And I figured out how to unmute myself, so hopefully you heard that.
No, everybody heard. It was good, and thank you for sharing. Thank you. I finally I found how.
Did you hear any of that? Because I had my computer on
Yes,
mute.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We heard all of it. It's all recorded.
Okay.
It's on recording and it's on YouTube. You can check it
Okay.
out. You can check it
Cool.
out. Are there any other shares at this moment? Anyone at all? Sharon, are you here at all? Sharon? It's okay. I did find, hi, Sarah. It's very good to see you too.
I'm in my gym stuff. I came from the gym, so okay. Hi, Zuma.
Did you ever get in touch with Myrna?
Yes, we had a lovely phone conversation, long phone conversation.
Very nice. Okay,
So we're going to get together after Thanksgiving.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, nice.
So I found how many times co-creator is used in the course? 15 times. So he talks about co-creator, that when God is and shares with all, we give and share with all too. When we are as God created us, the same. When we think that we're something different, well, you know about that, we're dreaming. We're dreaming. That's why the course says we're the dreamer of the dream. And the whole idea of this course is to awaken from the dream, and to awaken from the dream, ask for forgiveness of what I think I am. So what I think I am is the figure in the dream, and what I am is the dreamer of the dream. I'm certainly not the hero of the dream. The hero of the dream is always the ego. And I found one particular of the 15 co-creators that seems to be something that maybe sharing will be helpful to someone here. It was helpful to me as I saw it, and I'll put it up here in the chat. The eating of the fruit of the tree of knowledge is a symbolic expression for usurping the ability for self-creating. So if we are co-creators, all we have to do is extend ourselves, and that's all you ever need for the knowledge of true knowledge, the knowledge of God. You know, there is such thing as the knowledge of God, but we call knowledge is, well, I know about this and I know about that. I don't know too much about that over there, but I'll learn something about it. That has nothing to do with knowledge. That's the ego's idea of knowledge. And I got to go to the tree of knowledge and pick an apple and see if I can learn and earn something from something that I just learned, so I can get by in this world. He's saying this is the only sense in which God and his creations are not co-creators. If you think you can learn something, you are not a co-creator with God. God doesn't learn anything. Then it goes on to say, the images are perceived but not known. So in this world, we see things with our eyes. That's called perception. But he tells you in the course, perception is not a fact. Perception is an interpretation. And then he goes on to say, who is your interpreter? If the ego is your interpreter, you can be sure that you're going to hear about how this is different from that. If the Holy Spirit is your interpreter, you're going to see things differently. And then it goes on to say, just knowledge cannot deceive, but perception can. You can perceive yourself as self-creating, but you cannot do more than believe it. And you know how I feel about the word believe. It's a lie.
It's a lie.
Any thoughts on any of that? We've kind of coming to the close of this hour. It has been really a really beautiful hour. I'm not surprised, because the lesson 209 is the shortened version of 189, and 189 is one of the most, as far as I'm concerned, one of the most popular lessons in the course, because it has meant so many to so many people. I feel the love of God within me now. He says, how the hell can you feel the love of God in a world that looks like this? Simply do this. Be still. So it's about stilling the mind and allowing what is to come to mind. What is this my only business? What is the beingness that Rafi talked about. The being and the isness is the same. Rafi, I see your hands up.
I have my hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't have the book in front of me and I don't want to,
What?
look it up. But is that the lesson that also says the law of perception? Or the law of seeing?
Oh, you're asking me where I get the thing about perception?
No, lesson 189.
Oh,
That talks about simply do this, put aside all your beliefs and everything.
yeah. That's lesson 189, paragraph 7.
Yeah, the law of seeing. Okay, I just wanted I love that lesson. That is my favorite lesson in the whole book.
Yeah. Actually,
Okay, that's it. I'll be quiet.
it was also Ken Wapnick's favorite lesson. In fact, Helen Schuckman gave him a gift, which was a parchment of just paragraph 7 of lesson 189. And I never heard the reason for that, but if it's the same thing that happened to me, I shared earlier today in the first part of the hour how lesson 189, paragraph 7 changed the way I looked at the Course of Miracles. I always thought the Course was just a book. I get a lot of books in my library. It doesn't mean that I read them or think anything about them. They're just books. They're written by authors. Authors have egos, and I'm aware of that, and I understand what the ego is. I really do, because I'm a proud owner of an ego. On the on the other hand, when I read lesson 189, paragraph 7, and he said, "Forget this world, forget this course." And that's what he says, forget this course. I said, wait a minute. This isn't by anybody who writes books in this world. No one who writes 1,300 pages gives you 1,300 pages and then says, I want you to forget it. And I realized this comes from outside this world. This comes from beyond this world of you and me. And I took a whole new way of looking at this course. And then every word became something that I wanted to learn. Every word became something I wanted to learn. Yes, Rafi.
Yeah, one of the things that helps me disidentify from the body is to realize that God is expressing through me. And if God is expressing through me, then God is expressing through everyone that I see. So nothing I see has an ego. It's all an expression of God. And that being the case, if nothing has an ego, then it's here to serve. Even this dream that we're looking at, how many times have we heard, it's a school? Well, you think ego is going to give us a school to learn from? Forget it. So everything, God expressing through me as me, God expressing through you, God expressing through everyone. So if God is expressing to everyone, it's very easy to see everyone as the divine love. I mean, you mentioned that in your book on several different pages. You see everything as love. You're saying it right. And so all of this stuff is coming together now very cohesively. And so that's why I just thought I'd share that. Thank you.
Yeah. This is the book that Rafi's talking about. It's called Into Oneness. And the funny thing is, I always say that this is a book that I had nothing to do with, even though my name is on the book. It came from 3 or 4 years of teaching in text, and a gal named Valinda copied and pasted everything that I said that she liked, the cream of what she liked over 3 or 4 years, and turned it into a book at Kinko's. And later I said, Valinda, I want to write a book. She said, but Dove, you already have a book. Started looking at the book that was really nothing more than her copying what I said. But I can tell you that what I say doesn't come from Dove. It really doesn't come from my ego. It really comes through me. And that's the reason, the purpose of ACIM Gather is to develop teachers of God, people who say, I would like to be among the teachers of God, which Jesus actually says in the Manual for Teachers. This course is a call for teachers. And most people think that, well, I got to learn something in order to be a teacher. No, the only thing you could ever learn is what the ego learns. No, you are a teacher of God if you are willing to trust that the words will be given to you. All I have to do is exactly what Sharon said earlier. Let me step back and let him lead the way. That's exactly what the opening prayer is that people recite from page 18. I'm here only to be truly helpful. I'm happy to represent him who sent me. I do not have to know what to say or what to do, for he who sent me will direct me and give me what to say and what to do. So once you begin to recognize that that's what's going on, say, "Wow, man, I love this teacher." There's one person in this room I think of as somebody I'm really talking about. Mickey. I remember when I first said to Mickey, and it could have been 8, 9, 10, 12 months ago, I don't know, a year ago. Hey, Mickey, how about teaching? She said, no, 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 not me. But then she started hanging out with Karen. Karen usually here is my co-teacher on this hour. And after about a month with Karen, guess what? Mickey started teaching, and I can tell she loves teaching. She loves teaching. Yeah, I know Mickey loves teaching. You can just tell it in her smile. Every time she's teaching, there's a big smile on her face. She loves it. And that's true for everybody. I'm talking about Regina Dawn Akers. I'm not saying that she didn't want to be a teacher, but at that particular time, no one was inviting her to be a teacher. David Hoffmeister had her as somebody helping him keep his accounting files, things like that. She came over to gather and she started teaching. At the end of 1 year, instead of 1 hour a week, which is how she started, she was doing 4 or 5 hours a week. And the next year, she was the channel. She was the scribe for NTI, which most people now know is a great work, which I say is really equivalent to the Course in Miracles. It really is. I used to teach it here. Another is Lisa Natoli. Another is Lynn Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah.
All came here, and all of a sudden we are all the same. We are teachers of God. Yes, Rafi.
Your book is a perfect example of what I was talking about, of God expressing through us. The version I have, The Open Mind, Loving Yourself, is that's God expressing through you. And that was the gift to us. And since that is happening to all of, quote, us, unquote, and that the omnipresence is God. There's just no way around that. Thank you.
Yeah. This is a book. I never say read the book because you don't read this book. It's a book of divine guidance. You hold it in the palm of your hands and you can ask a question or you can ask for divine guidance. And I know that Rafi says he does this almost every evening. And so I'm going to do it like right now. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to ask for divine guidance. And I open the book, and whatever says on the left and the right is the guidance. And we opened up to page 122 and 123. And this is, I don't know if you can see it. It's only a couple of paragraphs on each page. And it says on 122, it says, the ego's interpretation of empathy is always used to form a special relationship in which the suffering is shared. The ego always uses joining in and seeing suffering, and out of our human compassion and pity, quote unquote, for the sufferer or the victim, for the sufferer or the victim, and looking as to who the guilty are and where the blame should be laid, seeks only to weaken us even further, keeping us solidly in the dream that we are hooked thinking that we have done all that we can. Then on page 123, it says, perception by any member of the sonship of differences, quote unquote, reflects the belief in the separation or conflict or unequal or divided self or split mind, which the Course speaks of. It can be said, however, that darkness represents the sleeping mind, which the Course certainly says we are dreaming in a deep sleep, and the light in which we know when we awaken. So the contract between asleep and awake is certainly part of this world. That's the guidance. Okay. I think we're complete at this point. Thank you so much, Len, everybody who joined us. We welcome Karen back next week, and we're going to be next week on lesson 210, which is the review of lesson 190, which is one of the most famous lessons. I use it all the time. I choose the joy of God instead of the pain. And there's a line in the Course, if God is real, there is no pain. And if pain is real, there is no God. And actually, that comes from lesson 190. I don't know why I said lesson 190 says, if God is real, there is no pain. And if pain is real, there is no God. And I feel that saying it right now, after doing lesson 189, which we just did, sounds very real. Meaning that if you're part of the infinite mind of God, there is no pain. But if there's pain, you don't know what God is. So it works perfectly. 119 and 209 and 210.
All right. Thank you so much, Dove and all. Wonderful sharing. And thank you, Mickey, for giving up part of your time for Dove and all to finish. I do appreciate that. And I know that's very gracious.